I recently discovered yet another reason I probably never want to live in Siberia. Because in Siberia, your town might get invaded by a pack of 50 wild polar bears. That recently happened to one town in Siberia, where a group of about 50 polar bears decided to come into town. And of course, they weren't nice and polite polar bears. They started attacking people on the streets, digging through people's garbage, making people scared. They had to stay in their homes and kind of afraid and worried about what would happen to them if they confronted one of these wild beasts. And after it was clear that the polar bears were going to stay for a while, they stayed for about 2 months in this town. Over the course of time, the local government gave all the citizens very clear instructions on what they were supposed to do if they happened to have a run-in with one of these polar bears. And do you know what the residents were supposed to do if they happened to come face to face with one of these wild beasts? Nothing. The government clearly said, do not hurt them, do not shoot them, do not harm these wild beasts who are causing so much difficulty in the life of everyone. And why not? Because polar bears are an endangered species and they need to do everything they can to protect these precious animals. You think that was you think those were easy instructions for those residents to carry out? I don't know. But I think those instructions might be easier than carrying out some of the instructions that we receive in the Word of God. For example, in the book of James, we're told this, where it says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Slow to become angry. It's not always an easy thing. I was reading a book written by a pastor who in his book was talking about his mom who died giving birth to him. And the reason he was talking about his mom who died giving birth to him was because he was talking about his relationship with his dad, who he says resented him and blamed him for his wife dying. He said he never remembers his father doing anything affectionate for him, never saying a kind word to him. He says when he was 9 years old, he remembers his dad once putting his arm around him for 30 seconds at a funeral. And that was it. His dad died when he was 12. And do you know how he said he felt when his dad died? Relieved. He felt relieved. He felt relieved. Do you know what his dad was? In his mind, his dad was his enemy. I know with the word enemy, we think of terrorists and hijackers. We think of big criminals and people who break into stores and take things, and we think of big wars and whatever else. But really, our enemy is anybody who gets under our skin. An enemy is at least the ones that will have an impact on our lives, the ones who are typically close enough that they can put our arms around us and we can put our arms around them. They can be our enemies. The ones who tempt us to not do what Jesus commands us to in the Gospel of Luke. So in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus is addressing what we should do with our enemies. And he says, when we come face to face with our enemies, he says, you should make sure to bless them. Bless those who curse you, he says. In other words, he's telling us to legitimately desire the happiness of those who are hurting you. It's a hard thing. He also tells us to pray for those who mistreat you, and he's not telling us to pray that they get struck by lightning or pray that they get exiled to a place in Siberia where polar bears will attack them. He's literally telling us to pray for their benefit. Pray that good things will happen to them. He also tells us when we come face to face with our enemies, he says, well, if someone slaps you on the one cheek, he tells you to turn the other cheek also. And, this is where the phrase turn the other cheek comes from, which many people believe means that if somebody does something bad to you, you should just turn around and walk away in the other direction, but that's not what he means. When Jesus says, Jesus is saying that if somebody slaps you on one cheek, you should turn your other cheek toward them and invite them to hit you on the other one as well, to stay there and to take it. He also says that if we come face to face with our enemies, he says, don't withhold your shirt from them. If anyone takes something from you, give them more. Give them your shirt. Give them your coat. Give them more and more. In other words, my personal comfort should never be the most important thing to me. And by saying all of these things, he is not saying that your goal in life should be to make yourself vulnerable. He's not saying that your goal in life should be to get hurt. He's not even saying that you need to carry on a friendship with those who are your enemies. He's just saying, boy, don't forget. Don't forget how God treats you and me. Don't forget that Jesus was really good at blessing those who cursed him. Don't forget that Jesus was really good at turning to the people who were pounding nails into him, not just his cheek, but his hands and his feet and his side and everything. Don't forget that we have a Jesus who prayed for you, who prayed for your forgiveness, who prayed for the strength to get all the way to the cross where he would give it. And don't forget about the Jesus whose own comfort was not the most important thing to him. Your comfort is. Your comfort is. And it always will be. When we are tempted to let our anger get the best of us, just remember. Remember Jesus. Remember the safety that we will find in him. Remember his promise that you're going to be okay, no matter what it will cost you. Today we looked at a list of some sometimes very difficult tasks that Jesus told us to carry out when we come face to face with people who've caused us some pain. He told us to bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them the other cheek also, and to not withhold anything good from them, to be abundant in giving and giving and giving. It's a powerful gift when somebody has done that to us. And I bet you that you have been the recipient of that kind of kindness at some point in your life. At some point in your life, there is someone who has treated you in the way that Jesus wants, in this way. And if there is someone that you can think of, somebody that you are grateful for, someone in whom you see the heart of Jesus, maybe just consider tagging them in this video as a way to say, thanks. Thanks for showing Jesus to me, and tag them as a way to show that you appreciate and you're grateful to God for what you've done for them. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you're anything like me, you love the Grace Talks. I love hearing what the guys have to say about God and his incredible love for us in Jesus. But if you're anything like me, you might not have time to just sit down and give your full attention to a screen. You might catch these messages as you're driving, running, working out, folding the laundry, whatever. And that's why we're so happy to give you all this content in a great audio podcast. By clicking that button, you can get connected to our podcast, which will bring more Jesus, more grace, more talking about our Savior into your ears, and we hope into your heart each day. So click the button, get connected to God's grace, and hope you have an amazing day.